Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're embarking on an epic journey back in time to a land of majestic palaces, brilliant scholars, and fierce warriors. We're exploring the captivating history of medieval Korea, a period that shaped the identity of a nation and left an incredible legacy. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's travel through the heart of Korean history together. Our story begins as the dust settles on an era known as the Three Kingdoms period. For centuries, the peninsula was a battleground for three powerful kingdoms: Goguryeo in the north, Baekje in the southwest, and Silla in the southeast. Imagine a massive, centuries-long chess game, with alliances shifting like the seasons. Silla, often seen as the underdog, eventually forged a crucial alliance with Tang China. Through a series of brilliant military campaigns and shrewd diplomacy, Silla conquered its rivals, unifying most of the peninsula for the first time in 668 AD. This wasn't just a military victory, it was the birth of a new, unified Korean identity. This period, known as Later Silla, ushered in an age of incredible cultural and artistic flourishing. With the land united, peace brought prosperity. The capital city, Gyeongju, became one of the most magnificent cities in the world. It was a bustling metropolis, a center of art, religion, and international trade. Imagine streets filled with merchants from as far away as the Middle East, temples adorned with golden statues, and royal tombs filled with breathtaking treasures. Buddhism, which had arrived earlier, became the state religion and the primary inspiration for art and architecture. The stunning Seatgurum Grotto and the Bulgaksa Temple, both UNESCO World Heritage Sites, are testaments to the incredible skill and deep faith of the Silla people. It was a golden age where science also thrived, leading to the construction of the Kiamsi-Ande Observatory, one of the world's oldest surviving astronomical observatories, which still stands today, a silent witness to Silla's brilliant minds. But, as with all great empires, the golden age of Silla began to tarnish. Internal power struggles among the nobility weakened the central government. The lavish lifestyle of the aristocracy in the capital created a vast gap with the struggling peasants in the provinces. Local warlords began to rise, challenging the king's authority and carving out their own territories. The kingdom that had once unified the peninsula began to fracture. This chaotic period is known as the Later Three Kingdoms, as descendants of the old Goguryeo and Baekje kingdoms re-emerged, seeking to restore their former glory. The dream of a single, unified Korea seemed to be slipping away. Out of this chaos, a hero emerged. His name was Wang Jian, a charismatic and brilliant general. Serving under a rebel warlord, Wang Jian's strategic genius and diplomatic skill quickly set him apart. He saw a path to reunification not just through conquest, but through unity and inclusion. In 918, he established his own dynasty, naming it Goryeo, a name that harks back to the great northern kingdom of Goguryeo, and from which the modern name Korea is derived. Through a series of brilliant military victories and by welcoming defectors from the other kingdoms, Wang Jian methodically reunified the peninsula. By 936, the later three kingdoms were history, and the Goryeo dynasty stood supreme, ready to lead Korea into a new era. The Goryeo dynasty would rule for nearly 5 centuries, and its contributions were immense. It established a new capital at Gaejeong, modern-day Kaesong, and created a sophisticated civil service system based on examinations, aiming to recruit officials based on merit, not just birth. This was a revolutionary idea that shaped Korean governance for centuries. Goryeo's greatest gift to the world, however, might be its artistic achievements. This was the era of Celadon pottery, exquisite ceramics with a unique jade green glaze, so beautiful they were prized across Asia, and even more remarkably, Goryeo artisans invented the world's first movable metal type printing press. This happened a full 200 years before Gutenberg's press in Europe. Imagine the dedication it took to cast individual metal characters, allowing for the mass production of books and the spread of knowledge on an unprecedented scale. Yet, Goryeo history was also marked by immense struggle. Its location made it a constant target for powerful northern empires. For decades, the Khitans of the Liao dynasty launched devastating invasions, but the Goryeo forces, led by legendary generals, valiantly defended their homeland. Then came an even greater threat, the Mongol Empire. For nearly 30 years, Goryeo resisted the Mongol invasions in a brutal, drawn-out war. The royal court and government even fled to Gangwa Island, directing the resistance from offshore. Eventually, Goryeo was forced to become a vassal state of the Mongol Yuan dynasty. While this brought a degree of peace, it came at a high cost of independence and resources, a painful chapter that tested the resilience of the Korean spirit. After a century of Mongol influence, the Yuan dynasty began to crumble. Seizing the opportunity, King Gongmin of Goryeo initiated a series of bold reforms to reclaim sovereignty and purge pro-Mongol elements from his court. It was a period of national resurgence, but internal problems were deep-seated. Land ownership had become concentrated in the hands of a few powerful families, and corruption was rampant. The dynasty was weakening from within. It was at this critical juncture that another powerful general stepped onto the stage of history. His name was Joseon. Initially tasked with attacking the new Ming dynasty in China, he made a fateful decision at Wiwa Island. Realizing the campaign was a fool's errand, he turned his army around, marched back to the capital, and seized control of the government. In 1392, Joseon overthrew the nearly 500-year-old Goryeo dynasty and established a new one, Joseon. This wasn't just a change of rulers, it was a profound ideological shift. Joseon and his supporters were ardent Neo-Confucian scholars. They moved the capital to Hanyang, which we now know as Seoul, and designed the city and the government based on strict Confucian principles. Buddhism, once the state religion, was suppressed and a new social order was established, emphasizing loyalty, filial piety, and social hierarchy. The Joseon dynasty would go on to rule for over 500 years, becoming Korea's last and longest-ruling dynasty, building directly upon the foundations laid during the medieval period. The legacy of medieval Korea is all around us. The name Korea itself comes from Goryeo. The social structures, the emphasis on education, and the political philosophies of the Joseon era, born from the ashes of Goryeo, still resonate in Korean society today. The artistic treasures, from Silla's golden crowns to Goryeo's celadon, are sources of immense national pride. This period of dynasties, invasions, and incredible innovation forged a resilient and unique cultural identity. It's a story of a people who, despite facing immense external pressures and internal turmoil, continually strived for unity, created breathtaking beauty, and contributed profound innovations to the world. And that brings our journey through medieval Korea to a close. From the unification by Silla through the glorious and turbulent Goryeo dynasty to the dawn of Joseon, this was a period that truly defined the course of Korean history. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more fascinating stories from history, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next adventure. Let me know in the comments what part of Korean history you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.